Alright, so here we go. We are in the match between
Smoke
Black
Adders
Smoke. No,
and
sorry,
Blacksheep.
I was clicking things. I didn't forget. But
Okay.
thank you for covering me. I appreciate it.
And it looks like Smoke Adders has started on the low side, and Blacksheep has started up by the comms tower. Why don't you take us through their loadouts, Raffle?
Okay, so Smoke Adder is low side. You said correct?
Yes.
Okay, so it looks like Smoke Adder has actually brought fairly heavy. I'm assuming a brawling composition. Very interesting. I don't see a mech of the same type. We have a Firestarter, a Shadowhawk, or a Firestarter, a Spider, a Cicada, a Jenner, an Atlas, a Victor, a Banshee, a Stalker, a Shadowhawk, a Jaegermech, a Blackjack, and a Griffin. So that's fun. A lot of variety on that team. But then from Blacksheep, we have what looks like a fairly well, not a fairly classic build, but we've got some Cataphracts, Victors, Thunderbolt, Orion K, Jester. This looks like it's probably going to be a mid-range build, and I honestly, I see a tag. I see a tag on Mensch in a Griffin 3M, so I can only hope that that is LRMs, and we will fulfill that dream. But right now we're just seeing both teams kind of holding their positions. We've got a Spider taking a peek from Smoke Adder, just making sure that they are not being pushed on, taking a look on a radio tower, and the rest of Smoke Adder is just kind of holding in the area by Arch. Meanwhile, Black Sheep, ooh, Artie goes down. A little bit of damage goes down onto that Jester, but they are holding in Tiny Town with a Spider out in the water scouting. So what do you think about this, Siri?
Well,
these builds are kind of hard to... I'm not quite sure what to do.
Think just on the whole of the mech choice and cohesion that Blacksheep is getting the nod for this. But
yes.
At the moment, neither side wants to be aggressive, so it's going to be a bit of who can get the better strike, and I give that to the Smoke Adder team normally just based on position. Their leads are in the cave and not actually maneuvering for strikes, so I'm wondering if they actually brought strikes in the first place.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are just kind of competing for some good shots, trying to get some good trades in. We see not a lot of movement from either team. Looks like they're both fairly happy, although we do see the Spider moving towards the cave exit, trying to get some scouting information, just barely peeking out there. I don't think he's been spotted by anything. Oh no, this Jester sees him, taking the shots at him. I think he might have been going for an airstrike or an arty strike, or maybe just good scouting information. But no arty or air goes down. They are aware of his presence, but we still haven't seen any significant movement from either team.
We are seeing some ER large laser harassment go down, and we discussed that earlier about how that sort of puts a timer on the match as your mechs slowly take attrition-based damage and you want to make a move happen. And how effective is that being right now, in your opinion?
Are you talking about the harassment from Smoke Adder?
Other side, just the ER large laser harassment.
Yeah, in this situation, I haven't seen a ton of fire go down, but large laser harassment can be effective, especially we talked about those Ravens, how they have the ability to really... they're super annoying, and they're quick enough that it's you can get some decent shots in harassment and not take any damage. So if nothing else, it's an annoyance that you have to be careful of, especially if they can get a good line on you. And that's true. You do see a little bit of large laser fire. I can't tell... Oh, so now they're actually taking shots at Cicada in the water from Star Adder, who is... Star Adder is actually a little bit spread out. I think this Griffin definitely has LRMs, because you see him going, he's trying to get the tag on the enemy team, but he's exposing himself a lot. He's way out by himself. That's dangerous. this Griffin is almost this Griffin from Star Rider is almost completely on the other side of the map from his team, and I think somebody noticed or something happened because he's running back now. That could have been dangerous. You could have seen a pick right there, which would have changed this game significantly. But yeah, it looks like both teams are just taking their time, trying to get some good trades in. Yeah, we see very standard builds from Blacksheep. Looks like Thunderbolt. But yep, they're very content to just kind of sit on this hill, try and get some picks, and do the best they can.
Do you think they know the composition that Smoke Adders is running?
No, I don't think that they've gotten much of a feel for it, because Smoke Adder has done a good job of staying, keeping to themselves. Mechs that aren't going to trade fairly well just aren't even bothering trying to trade.
Actually, how much outing have you seen from Blacksheep at all? Or are they just all
very little. Very little. They've got a couple Raven. They've got a Raven and a Spider that I've seen for sure that are just doing a little bit of peeking, but it's peeking. It's definitely not scouting. So I'm not sure really what they're going for. And for Smoke Adder to see Cicada with large lasers, that's definitely meant to harass. We see a Spider 5D kind of poking that ridge, being a nuisance. I don't see... I'm not sure if I can see arty strikes on people's screens. I don't think I can.
Oh, you mean whether they're loaded? Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't think I can because I haven't seen any loaded on anyone. But we do see some interesting build. This Blackjack is 2 large pulse, 2 machine gun, Jaeger. This looks like a brawling comp, to be completely honest. That Griffin actually isn't LRMs. He's got that tag, which I think might be to distract the opponent. They might be thinking Lerms, trying to get in a really tight position, because he actually has 4 streaks and a large laser. And he is out a little bit in front of his team. There are actually lights moving through the cave. A UAV is popped, just trying to make sure that there isn't a push. And I think we may see... No, it doesn't look like Smoke Adder is moving up for a tunnel push, but we do see... a little bit in a shift. They're not anymore in the arch area back towards their spawn. They're actually pushing out now, and they are going for a push out towards shoreside. They're not going through caves, but they are moving out. Griffin and that Misery move out with a little bit of cover from a Shadowhawk and a Blackjack. Airstrike, or Artie goes down from both teams, one on the radio tower and one a miss actually on Smoke Adder, but no significant damage either side, and I don't see a lot of like jump sniping from Blacksheep, but Smoke Adder has definitely moved out now. They have moved away from arches and are now kind of out in the open, using this hill as cover. Do you think they're going to go for a push here, Siri?
I don't know. They're still pretty spread out, so if they did, it would be a bit of a straggling push, but at the same time, Blacksheep's defensive position is also slightly haphazard. They've got some peeking over the top, they've got some looking down the right side, and some looking to the left. So that's probably just to have eyes so they know which way they're being approached from. But if there was a push, that does expose the 1 or 2 guys to taking the fire from the entire team. But as we speak, Smoke Adders is slowly moving up, and looks like they're thinking about going around the left of the comms tower, up into that narrow passage which we call Grinder. But
what do you call the opposite side? Passage.
Actually, I always get confused. I call both of them Grinder. I'm trying to remember which one is the right one. It's so good for
we
my
now
comms.
are actually seeing light mechs and a medium mech from Smoke Adder are actually moving up on top near the comms tower, pushing back Blacksheep into Tiny Town. No kills go down yet, but some good air arty from both teams. Quite a bit of damage put on those Smoke Adder mechs. They have now retreated, and it looks like both teams are kind of... Ooh, a lot of team damage just went down on that Victor. Looks like they have now retreated back. No significant pushes. We see a couple UAVs popped up just to make sure, and Blacksheep is cautiously retaking the tower. This is interesting. No team is really willing to commit to unless they feel it's completely favorable.
There's actually just been sort of like this back and forth trade over the hill, where whoever goes up and tries to peek is getting lit up by the entire enemy team, and then the other team will try to do the same, and the reverse happens. So overall, though, I think this is going better for Smoke Adder. They've been getting that constant poke around the left side with the ER large. It looks like they got 1 or 2 good strikes in.
I would have to agree.
Like that spider is at 59%.
Yep, they are moving back up to the top of the hill, taking a few more shots. Some more damage goes down. That Griffin got hit pretty hard, but
yeah,
is
taken
still
from
kicking.
Like 80-something% down to 60% by that airstrike.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and he's taking a lot more
damage. It looks like we're
damage.
getting movement right now from...
That Griffin might go down at 49%. No, he's still up. Still no casualties from either team, but it's getting to the point where a couple good shots could mean one team is down and has to be making the push.
After that last round of trades, it's actually back in Blacksheep's favor, I feel.
I would agree.
It looks like they realize that because they're positioning some of their mechs more aggressively instead of being wary and receiving a push. They're still keeping the ones that can't really do much, like the Orion and the Catapult K2, just safe tucked away in the back so they're not taking errant damage and getting in the way of the other mechs, but even though there wasn't a kill, that one Blackshack is down to about 50%. And
that Griffin is really hurting. Let's check out exactly where he's hurt. Oh, he is actually... He's at 50%, but he is cored cherry red CT. So he
front
is...
or back.
Both. So he has to be very, very careful about how he plays now to avoid getting his team that first death.
This is actually one thing that we didn't mention about like the Raven and the lights with ER large lasers is if there's something crit and trying to hide, you can swing out wide, find an angle, finish it off, and then get back to safety. Whereas one of the more brawly lights, it has to commit right into the entire team to finish that or that component off.
And we see some more air already go down from both teams, but still no casualties from either side. I have to hand it to Blacksheep. They are being very patient. In a position where it's hard to be patient sometimes too, because you see them right there, you see you're taking, some air already, some shots, you're getting a little bit nervous sitting up in that position. It's easy to want to push down and use your height advantage, but they're being very patient, only trying to take good trades. We're just kind of at a standstill. I think this game will dramatically increase in pace as soon as the first kill happens. We have a Cicada for Smoke Adder sitting in the back by Gravel Heap, just shooting, harassing, a definition of harassment.
Yeah, I feel he's probably just slightly outside of his optimal range, so he's not getting the full burn-in to the max potential, but he's been trading okay up that alley. But he is taking damage in return from some, I think those are large lasers from the Thunderbolt.
Yeah, and it's irritating. Having somebody that's constantly spamming you takes your attention away from the movements of the team and stuff like that, so...
And at the same time, it's giving that harasser a bit of scout intel if you're sticking around and continuing to look at him. He can scout you by a mission if you leave.
Excuse me. Oh, and so that I just keep an eye on that Griffin in the back, making sure that he's not pushing his luck. It looks like Oh, I thought we were going to see some movement from Blacksheep, but it looks like they're just shifting around, being antsy. Just keeping a couple people jump sniping. Looks like that Jester's moving up a little bit. They are putting some shots on Smoke at her, but still no kills. Nice, already goes down. There's a Victor, a 9S that's actually at 51%, and he looks like is still continuing to jump snipe. He's actually taking damage from that cicada all the way in the back, down to 48%. I'm gonna check him out. Yep.
Okay, the damage on him is spread absolutely everywhere.
Yep, literally everywhere. He does have a red armor and orange internals on his CT though, which means that he is in a fairly vulnerable state. A couple good alphas could bring him down. So he does have to be careful, and I feel like a lot of people in this game are in that state. We see a couple air already go down, but it doesn't look like it's... They don't look like quality air already. They look like air already trying to make your opponent do something.
There's only about 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in this match. It's been quite a long one. It is a 20-minute timer. So, do you think we are going to see a push in the next little bit?
I feel like yes we are, and I feel like Blacksheep are going to be the ones who initiate that push. Oh, the screen is in night vision. I need to get out of that. I feel like... Yeah, I feel like Blacksheep have probably... maybe more healthy mechs right now, so I feel like they're probably going to be the ones that initiate the push. But I'm honestly not sure. I think that Smoke Adder is probably very nervous with that Griffin that they have at 49%.
Smoke Adder had strikes left. I think they would actually go for it, because they do have fresh mechs, and the strikes would pave the way for them to get in there. But judging by the frequency lately of the smoke placement, if either team has them left, they've got to be down to just a few.
Yep, one more goes down. Doesn't catch any mechs. Yeah, it's drawn down here to the end. Two minutes and 18 seconds remaining. I wonder if we're going to see a push, or do you think they'll draw it? Do it again?
I don't think so. I think
at like a minute, one team is going to push.
This is me putting my mentality in there, knowing that I've done that much damage to certain mechs, like that Griffin. I totally want to push that. And even just having the access to the comms tower, you can do a pretty good push by putting your jumpers like straight over it, and your land-based ones left or right, and actually have all your guns on target. Unlike,
it looks like
normally when you do a push, you can only get a couple of those guns in that time as you funnel through a choke.
Blacksheep are worried. It looks like Blacksheep are worried about a push too, because they just put down an airstrike in Grinder, trying to make sure that nobody pushed up on him. But we've got a minute left. Got a minute and 18 seconds left, and we are yet to see either team make that push.
So for the sake of our viewers, what happens if this is a push?
If this ends in a draw, you mean, or if there's a push?
Or, no, rather, if this ends in a draw.
I think they redrop, don't they?
As far as I know, yes, there's going to be a redrop. We'll have to check that real quick.
I think we're going to go to a redrop then. I don't see any team making a push. Unless you get a miracle kill at the end here.
If that spider was healthier, I would have liked to see him and maybe the other light, which I think is a cicada, go around straight through cave and then pick off the Griffin and come back. Just by process of elimination on where they put that Griffin. You can pretty much figure that he's going to be by the arch, tucked away out of direct sight of the comms tower.
$20 seconds left. I think it's 10 seconds. No kills. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Nuclear explosion.
1. Draw.
Duh.
All right, guys, stand by while we figure that out. Rafa and Siri, why don't you go ahead and commentate on what you saw, and Phil and I will figure out what's going on.
So,
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't see much.
there were some mechs. They had some guns. They each kind of took a spot on the map, and they kind of shot at each other. And in the end, nobody died, and we're doing it again.
The hero of that match was definitely Smokeadder's Cicada. He racked up 450 damage. I think the closest was 187. So that's just kind of proof that if you want to put that sort of timer on a match and make sure it doesn't go to the draw, you need to have some element of poke.